number 6.
Every heart deserves the extra life. A little hero bowing through the night. Number 6, top 40 classic. Keep that heart beating strong. Number 6, top 40 classic.
Kyle, take us away.
Okay. Enduring Hearts is the only nonprofit dedicated entirely to funding research that improves outcomes for children with advanced heart conditions. Murder Hornet helped them go somewhere most charitable initiatives never reach. The Fortnite Heartpack, the first ever charitable side quest on Fortnite. The work reimagined gaming's extra life mechanic as an interactive educational experience. Inspired by real pediatric technology like the Berlin Heart, players assembled a mechanical heart backpack and learned how transplant devices work as they progressed. Set inside Super Pet World, the experience combined narrative storytelling, customization, and mission-based gameplay. Players met Alice, inspired by real transplant children, and completed guided challenges to unlock the Heart Pack. Amplified through creator live streams, launched over a single month during Heart Health Month, the campaign generated 11.5 million earned impressions and 173,000 plays. A universal gaming symbol transformed into a tool for understanding. At number 6, Enduring Hearts from Murder Hornet.
All right, we're going to talk to Noel here in a second. Let's take a look at this work first.
The heart has always been the universal symbol of life in video games. It's how you stay in the game. But in the game of life, over 10,000 children are waiting for a heart transplant, and nearly 1 in 5 won't survive the wait. Their only power-up while they wait for a donor, a real-world mechanical heart backpack that keeps their hearts beating. To raise awareness, Enduring Hearts, a pediatric heart transplant nonprofit, challenged gamers to build a mechanical heart backpack in Fortnite, reimagining gaming's culture of skins and backpacks as something that could help keep real children alive. The Fortnite Heartpack, the first ever charitable side quest inside of Fortnite. Shaped and inspired by Super Pet World's new mascot Turnippa, the Heartpack was unlocked through an immersive mission where play had purpose.
Fortnite is featuring a limited time experience to help players understand what children waiting for a heart transplant go through.
A video game millions of kids already love is being used in a new way, turning play, Caitlin, into purpose. I mean, this is incredible.
Fortnite has 100 million players a month. That's a lot of people, and that's a good way to get your message out.
This is actually helping players better understand what it's like to go through a heart transplant journey.
Now though, I'm stuck to this bed because of my heart condition. So we have to get Alice a heart pack to try and help Alice's heart condition. And I think that that's pretty cool that we've got something like that inside of a game. Oh, hey, look at that.
Finishing the side quest unlocked the Heartpack, a special power-up that granted extra life inside Fortnite, turning hope into something players could carry forward. For decades, hearts in games have symbolized life and second chances. But this time, the heart meant more, not just keeping a player alive, but helping keep young people waiting for a heart transplant alive.
All right. I had to put my Phillies hat on. Sorry, Noel.
Wow. Okay. We're going there today, apparently.
We are. Enjoy first place while you have it. Partnerships and branded content. Talk about the brief and the strategy on this. You are muted. You are not muted.
He's not muted. We're not getting you.
He needs to click to a different part of it and get the audio. Get the audio. He's putting in the earbuds.
He's gonna go.
And this might work. It does not.
Check.
Oh, no.
Nope. For some reason.
My goodness.
No. Why don't you go off and come back in?
Yeah, go off and come back in.
And we'll see if we get you then.
Meanwhile, we're going to put Travis Reed back on.
Talk about what you think of that.
I mean, it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually one of the captains for that category, for that piece of work. So
okay.
I think one of the things that goes very underappreciated with stuff like that is how hard it is to get your brand associated with a video game, and then all the coding and just all that legwork to get up front. So big kudos on that. And, you know, to make it integrated into what the game is kind of into the gameplay is huge too.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, here is
no.
Noel. Yeah. All right.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, Travis, we're going to bail you out. Stay tuned.
But interestingly, what Travis was saying there, I think, is the most like underappreciated part of this idea. I was judging the Indies One show, and when you judge work, you're not allowed to talk about your own work.
Right.
And this work came up in the room, and it was up for a pencil. And one person said, like, this is just like a pop-up store in the game. It's so easy to do. Like, you know, this is like I wasn't allowed to say anything, and I was just sitting on my vocal cords because it was such a heavy lift to get this done. I can't even tell you.
Yeah, well, off the air, you tell me who that is, and then I'll have a little chat with him.
Crazy Canadian.
Canadian.
Interesting.
Based on your last one, I was just saying.
Huh. Well, tell us about what it took. I mean, obviously there were many steps to take to get through this. So tell us what it took to get this in there and get the message across so everybody understood, you know, what a powerful message it is.
Yeah, well, Tyler Pierce, our ECD, and Amanda Brencies came up with the idea. Just, you know, two rock star creatives came to me with this idea, and I was like, this is almost an impossibly hard lift. I was like, it really feels like it's a hard lift. And then, you know, we pitched it to Enduring Hearts. It was actually the third idea we'd pitched them, and was Tyler's applauding in the background from the Rockstar comment, by the way. But we pitched it. This is the third idea we'd pitched to Enduring Hearts, and the first two were too big a lifts. So this one, I was like, this is another impossible lift. And they were like, you're not going to believe this, but one of the people on the board is actually part of a gaming thing and could maybe got some contacts. So it ended up being someone on the board of Enduring Hearts was connected in through Fortnite and through Ghost Gaming, and we landed up creating it through Ghost Gaming. But it was almost serendipitous that we knew there was kind of an in there, and then we started to build it. And Ghost Gaming, I mean, I would say it was like 6 months to a year in development of building that thing. And that was I think people don't appreciate how hard it is to build into these games, you know.
It's, yeah. And the other part of it too is ensuring efficacy as well. So the data points to it being quite successful. When you're going into it, hope isn't the right word, but we're professionals. We have a pretty good idea of what we believe can be effective and what might not be effective. It seemed pretty clear that you were bullish on this idea. Was there any part along the way where the client, I mean, obviously the client had some hookups at Fortnite, but were there any points during the process where it was like, are we sure we want to do this?
There were a lot, honestly, like every time. But I will say Ghost Gaming, our partners, were really, really great, because every time we went to them with like, hey, we want to try this and we've got to build this backpack, and we want it to look like this key person in the game, Turniper, that little like green thing.
Yeah.
Like, and they were super accommodating and super like open to it. And they're like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, we can do that. So finding the right partner who's building the back end of the game is another huge part of it, because if you've got someone who's like, oh, that's impossible, it's really hard. You're talking about efficacy. I will say PR was another huge part of this, having a good PR partner, because you really don't just want to be talking to the kids in the game, because they're not going to be raising funds for, sort of pediatric heart health. It's the parents. And so it's like also just getting on the news and getting people talking about it. And that's where we kind of, we had a lot of plays of the game, but they weren't being played by the fundraisers. So it was kind of interesting. The PR was a huge part of it.
Yeah. And I think that the strategic piece of this, understanding that we will, this was the idea that we're shepherding a lot of this. However, we need to bring some good folks in along the way. I think any brand, any marketer, you start with your agency, and when an agency says we are going to add this other piece to it, in your case, Ghost Gaming, the PR function to it, a marketer should just be saying, yes, we trust you on that. We believe that, as long as you believe this is the right thing to do, then we're all for it. So, sometimes I've seen this before where agencies sometimes try to play the hero and then they overplay their hand a little bit. So Noel, when it comes to an ambitious idea like this, what advice would you give to an indie agency about, okay, like you have this great idea, but these are the steps you need to take to make sure that you're going to be able to sell it through to the client vis-a-vis, we do these things really well. We don't do these other things really well, but we have this idea. We're great strategically. We're great here, here, and here. What advice would you give to indies about trying to sell this type of work through?
You know, our model again is a sort of like nest and the swarm model.
Yeah.
And I would say you kind of lean into the swarm as much as you can, because there's only so much we could do with like 10 or 12 people.
Right.
It's like, how do you build that out and how do you surround it with like really great people? And I even think, you know, one of my favorite pieces of work from last year was from an indie agency, the Johannes Leonardo Weenie 5000. Was brilliantly done. But like, you look at that and, you know, you just look at the scale of that. And I also look at the Mischief work, and I see when Mischief really leans into something like the Coors work. And it's like they just, some of these indie agencies have got the scale to pull it off themselves. But if you're a small indie, like just lean into the network of people to pull it off, because, you know, we had the idea and we were like along the way, but, you know, all the other partners really is what brought it together and gave it that scale that allowed it to look like a big ad from, you know, from the bigger agencies.
I love it. Right. Well, Noel, thank you so much for joining us. Always appreciate your support of our mission here. And like I said earlier, enjoy first place until the end of the season. And and thanks for joining us.
We were hoping for first place, but we'll take 6.
Okay. All right. Cheers. All right, mate. Fantastic. All right.